My sister made us move our wedding for her vacation. Now she's got a bun in the oven and wants us to move it again, but this time, I'm fighting back. Original poster, you/Helen Keller's voice. So, I'm in a bit of a weird situation. My fiancé and I aren't the most traditional and wanted to have our wedding as more of a family vacation, with the bonus of a wedding. My parents have a beautiful lakefront house, and we decided to have our wedding there. When we were initially planning our wedding and figuring out dates, I wanted to have it on June 26th. The 26th was important to us because that's the day my fiancé and I first met. However, when I spoke to my family about it, my sister said no because she already had a vacation planned for that date. I was sad, but it wasn't the end of the world, so we decided on June 4th to June 9th instead. Everything was working out perfectly. I let both of our families know to save the date and started wedding planning. It was all perfect until last night. I got a FaceTime call from my dad, who showed me an ultrasound, and I was super excited. There were congratulations, jumping around, and I was so thrilled because I'm going to be an auntie. I'm so excited for them and for my future niece or nephew. But it all came crashing down when I asked my sister when she is due, and she said, May 1st, so we're going to have to talk about your wedding. I assumed she just meant she wouldn't be able to attend, so I told them it's okay, we can just FaceTime her in. Her jaw dropped, and then my mom said, we can just push it back to September. I knew my emotions would get the best of me, so I said we could talk about it later and went back to celebrating and thinking of baby names. After the call, I can't lie, I had a bit of a breakdown. I already moved the dates once to accommodate my sister, which was fine, and I didn't push back on it. But after 7 months of planning our wedding around this date, and having my fiancé's family plan around it as well, I really don't want to change it again. Unfortunately, I know my family, and they will push for me to move it and will likely disrespect my decision not to. I know traveling with a newborn baby is going to be hard, which is why I offered to FaceTime her in, but it seems like that's offensive to them, not wanting my sister to be physically present at the wedding. I feel insanely guilty about being upset over having to change my wedding dates because my sister is pregnant. She's bringing a beautiful new family member into our lives, but I'm still a bit heartbroken that if I don't change the wedding date, I will be seen as inconsiderate and an asshole in my family. So, am I in the wrong for not wanting to push back my wedding because my sister is pregnant? Relevant comments. Comment 1. Tell us your sister is the golden child without saying she's the golden child. Response. My sister is the golden child of the family, it's not really a secret or try to be hidden. She's extremely involved in the family, visits them every weekend, while I live across the country so I only visit them typically once a year but do FaceTime them regularly. My parents are also very money-driven and my sister is a doctor in comparison to my brother, and I who do trades. She's the definition of the perfect child. She also typically plans all trips, vacations, or outings for my family because she's extremely type A and likes to have control situations. She's a bit stubborn and likes things her way or not at all, we've always just gone with it because it's easier. I expected my wedding to be the line but I guess not. Comment 2. I'd move it back to the 26th because that's the day that matters to you and your fiancé. Now she'll only want to go if she can bring the baby or she'll probably try and get you to move it even further saying, so she's not traveling with a newborn. Obviously people are going to be upset no matter what you do or don't do but all that really matters is you and your fiancé because the moment y'all are married you're each other's main priorities and no one else should matter when it comes to what you both want. Response. I'm very scared of that. Since she is going to be a first-time mama we don't know if she's going to have PPD or PPA or if baby is going to have colic. I'm scared that if I do push back our wedding to August or September and then she still can't make it or wants us to push it back even further I will resent it and distance myself from her. I love my sister so much but she is definitely the type of person where it is her way or the highway and my parents just go with it because that's just how she is. Update 1. So, a lot has happened in the past few days. I called my brother the day after I made my post. He understood where I was coming from and told me that I should absolutely not change my wedding date. Since I was worried about talking to my mom and being ganged up on, we planned when to speak to her about not wanting to change my fiancé's and my wedding date so my brother could be there to talk to her on my behalf if my emotions got the best of me. That didn't happen. My mom called me the next day to talk it over. I informed her that I was not going to change my wedding date, and while she was upset initially, she was surprisingly receptive. I was extremely happy about that until she said, "You need to talk to your sister about this because she's not going to be happy about being forced out 1 month postpartum." I explained I wasn't expecting or forcing her to attend, but my mom said, "No, she's coming to your wedding. I don't care if she's a new mom." After that, I got into a bit of an argument with my mom about her forcing my sister to do something that isn't best for her and her future family, and I ended up hanging up on her. I don't take being spoken to in a harsh tone easily and will tell the other person to take a minute to reevaluate their tone and come back. During the call, she also let slip that she was extremely disappointed in me for going to my brother for support instead of her and said I was just creating family drama for no reason. It is what it is, I needed a family perspective, which is why I called my brother. I tried to call my sister the next day, but she declined. So, I texted her and informed her that I would not be changing my wedding date. It was a much longer text, explaining my reasons and emotions. She replied a day later with, "You and I both know that your wedding date isn't officially set, and the only factor would be communicating the change to fiancé's family. I hope the hassle is worth having my and your literal niece or nephew's presence." I explained that I had already ordered and put money down on multiple things, as well as that my fiancé's family had been planning and accommodating around this date for 7 months. In my opinion, she wasn't receptive, and she said, "There are really no excuses. You have the power to move the date even just a little later in the summer to include me, and you're choosing not to. That hurts." I responded by saying that I wasn't choosing to exclude her from my wedding, but I understood that she may not be able to come and would have to FaceTime in instead. I also explained that I had already moved my wedding date once to accommodate her. I asked her to try to put herself in my shoes and consider how she would have felt if I had asked her to push back her wedding. She replied, "I would have moved my date in a heartbeat. That's the difference between us." At that point, I decided to offer pushing it back to the 26th of June, as some comments suggested, to see if she would still be going on her previously planned vacation, and thank God I did because she told me she couldn't do the 26th as she's still going on her vacation, 20 days after my wedding. I'm not the most knowledgeable about babies, since I don't have one and have only known my best friend's baby, but I don't feel like there's a huge difference between traveling with a 1-month-old and a 1.5-month-old. So, that solidified in my mind that she doesn't care about me, my fiancé, or our feelings but still expects everyone to accommodate her. At this point, as per my fiancé's advice, I'm putting it in the F it drawer in my head, and I'm not going to stress about it anymore because everyone knows the date is set. If my family shows up to my wedding, that would be amazing, but if not, I'm not going to be upset. At the end of the day, this will just show me who to prioritize as family in my life, because family is not always blood. Update 2. So this update is absolutely comical to me. As I said in my previous update, I stood strong and told my family I was planning on keeping my wedding dates. Which didn't go well, but at least I had my parents' support on it. Everything was as calm and relaxed as it could be. My sister hasn't talked to me since the conversation, but I figured she was just pissed off at me and dealing with everything involving pregnancy. But getting to the hilarious part of this update, 2 days ago we got a FaceTime from my fiancé's sister-in-law showing us 2 positive pregnancy tests. She's due first week of June, aka when our wedding is. My fiancé and I did all of the congratulations and excitement because once again first grandchild and baby in the family. After the call my fiancé and I just looked at each other and busted out laughing. Not only is my sister having the first grandbaby on my side, but his sister-in-law is having the first grandbaby on his side, all within the month before/during our wedding. Like, what are the chances? My fiancé and I have always had bad luck with planning things, aka why we were planning on a relaxed chill wedding instead of a big extravagant wedding. We had a few minutes convo and it ended up with us agreeing on, in my finances words, "F this, let's just elope." So that's exactly what we're doing. Like I said, we aren't traditional, and honestly we were just doing all of this for our families so they could feel included and have a fun time at the lake house. But with all the babies and 9 out of the 14 people who are invited not being able to attend, my sister and Bill, her Mill and Bill, my fiancé's mom, dad, and little sister, and his brother and Sil, why even have the whole wedding thing? So we're going to the courthouse on June 26th, the date that I originally wanted but wouldn't work with my sister's scheduled vacation to go get married. We're going to keep the photographer that we have a deposit down on and just switch from wedding photos to just a couple shoot. We're also still planning on going to the lake house and just take it as a pre-honeymoon. We've already let all of our family know the whole wedding thing is cancelled. My side is relieved and his side is sad because they don't have an opportunity to celebrate us as a couple. But it just wasn't what the universe wanted, and we'll plan something in the next couple of years to get our families all together and celebrate. Maybe one of our anniversary. Honestly, I can't even be upset because it's so comical that the one major event we've been planning on doesn't work because of everyone getting pregnant and being due around or during our wedding. But at the end of the day, we're getting married and getting some adorable little nieces or nephews. This will be my last update because no more wedding means no more drama. Relevant comment. I get why his brother and Sil can't attend, but why can't the rest of your fiancé's family members attend? Anyways, congrats. I told my boyfriend I'm always down to elope cause a big wedding is more trouble than it's worth for me personally. Response. I thought we were getting rid of the big wedding drama by just having our direct family plus 4 extras there, but it didn't work out that way. Still all the drama, so eloping is definitely the right option, lol. The people that can't attend would be my sister and her husband. They're having a baby in May, It's their first child and it would be a 5-hour drive to get out to the lake house. My sister, mother-in-law and brother-in-law, my fiancé and I got close to them at my sister's wedding trip, week-long trip in Jamaica. Then my soon-to-be Bill and Sil, since they are having a baby during our used-to-be wedding dates. His mom, dad, and sister, because they would definitely want to at least be close to Bill and Sil while she's having the first grandbaby. The lake house is about a 19-hour drive from where they live.